In accordance with Section 256 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 55 of the Articles of Association of the company, the quorum for this meeting is 3 members present in person or by proxy, and they are eligible to vote at the annual general meeting. May I now request the registrar to give a report of the proxy received to date. The registrar, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, regulators here present, and distinguished shareholders of Morison Industries PLC. Once again, I welcome you to the 66th Annual General Meeting of Morison Industries PLC, and as registrars, we are here to deliver the proxy report for this meeting. We received a total of 61 duly executed proxies, amounting to 207,577,550 units of Morison Industries PLC shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. The required quorum having been formed, with your consent, I hereby declare open the 66th Annual General Meeting of Morison Industries PLC. It gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce those physically present at this meeting. To my right is Mr. Soji Oladejo, the Managing Director of the company, and to my left is Ms. Posel Agbetu, our Company Secretary. Next to Mr. Oladejo is Mr. John Adekwaje, a Non-Executive Director of the company. We have Mr. Ayeni, we have Mr. Patrick Ure. I always find it difficult to announce, who is representing Engineer Charles Ozezwa. Joining us virtually are Mrs. Afolake Lawal and Mr. Philip Ayeni. My name is Richard Titiloye, the Non-Executive Director of your company.
The chairman.
Thank you. Yes, the chairman too. Physically present at this meeting is Mr. Chuks Osani Denizo, who is the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee and also a shareholder representative. And also with him is Mr. Benedict Ogwede, also a shareholder representative. You're welcome. We have some professional advisors and the regulators with us. And representing our independent auditors, Video Professional Services, we have Mr. Falola Ajibola. You're welcome. And also Ms. Ololade Falade. You're welcome, please. And of course, representing Security and Exchange Commission is Mrs. Censor Rosen. Cardinal Stone Registrar is Mr. Raymond Akokota. You're welcome. We have no apologies from any of the directors, so we have a full house with us. With your permission, I will now call on the Company Secretary to read the notice convening this meeting. Company Secretary, please.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the notice 31st December 2020, together with the report of the Auditors Audit Committee thereof. 2. To be elected the following directors retiring by rotation: Engineer Charles Ozezwa, and Mr. Ayemi Philip. 3, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. To elect members of the statutory shareholders audit committee. 5, to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company in line with the provision of Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Under special business, to fix the remuneration of the directors. 7, to renew the general mandate authorizing the company to enter into recurrent transactions which are of a trading nature or those necessary for its day-to-day operations with related parties or companies in accordance with the rules of Nigerian exchange, those necessary limited governing transactions with related parties or interested persons. 8, to discuss and consider the going concern of the business on its net assets and the steps to be taken to address same in pursuant to Article 54 of the Articles of Association and in accordance with Section 137 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Members of the company entitled proxies. Members of the companies entitled to attend and vote are entitled to appoint proxies to attend and vote in their stead. A proxy need not be a member of the company. A proxy form is provided with the annual report and financial statement. The proxy form has been pre-stamped for the use of the shareholders. To be valid for the purpose of this meeting, the form must be completed and deposited at the office of the company's registrar, Cardinal Stone Registrars Limited, 335-337 Abat Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos, or forward by email to registrar@cardinalstone.com not later than 48 hours before the time of the meeting. The company has made arrangements to bear the cost of stamp duties on the instrument of proxy. The nominated proxies are, in view of the above, members entitled to vote are advised to appoint any of them that listed proxies to attend and vote in their stead. 1, Mr. Usadinizu Chooks Nwosa. 2, Sir Sonny Nwosu. 3, Chief Timothy Adesina. 4, Mr. Odukale Abimbola Adiboye. 5, James Dr. Omodola Anthony. 6, Mr. Matthew Akinlabi. 7, Mrs. B.C. Bakari. Each member is to appoint a proxy by ticking the relevant box in the proxy form attached thereto to indicate how his or her vote is to be cast for each proposed resolution on the agenda. Each duly completed proxy form shall be counted as one. Closure of register. The register of members and transfer books of the company will be closed from Monday, March 7, 2022 to Friday, March 11, 2022. Both dates inclusive. Nomination to the audit committee. In accordance with Section 4046 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, a shareholder may nominate another shareholder for appointment to the statutory shareholders audit committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination to the company secretary at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. Such notice of nominations should be sent via email to MIPLC at morisonplc.ag for the attention of the company secretary. Section 445 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act provides that all the members of the audit committee shall be financially literate and at least one member shall be a member of the professional accounting body in Nigeria established by an act of the National Assembly. The Code of Corporate Governance issued by the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria also provides that members of the audit committee should be financially literate and able to read and interpret financial statements. Unclaimed dividend. Several dividend warrants remain unclaimed or are yet to be presented for payment or returned to the registrars for validation. A list of such members will be circulated with the annual report and account and advertised in 2 national papers as provided by CAMA. Members affected are advised to complete the e-dividend registration form, contact the company's registrars, Cardinal Stone Registrars Limited, 335-337 Abat Macaulay Yaba, or registrars at cardinalstone.com. It is the right of every security holder and shareholder to ask questions, not only at the meeting, but also in writing prior to the meeting. live streaming of the AGM. The meeting will be streamed live online to enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow procedures. The link for the live streaming of the meeting will be made available on the company's website at www.morison.com for your attention and necessary action. The electronic version of the annual report can be downloaded from the company's website, www.morison.com. And if annual report is emailed to all shareholders who have provided their email address.
Thank you. We have both ordinary and special businesses to transact at this AGM, in line with Section 238 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020. And the first item that we want to transact is our financial statements. This meeting is to consider and receive the audited financial statements of the company as well as the directors' and auditors' reports thereon for the year ended 31st December 2020, which had been published and circulated. May I therefore call on the representative of auditors, BDO Professional Services, to please present their report to the members. BDO, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Directors, members of the Audit Committee, the representatives from the regulators, gentlemen of the press, distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen. Report of the independent auditors to the shareholders of Morison Industry PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the financial statement of Morison Industry PLC, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31 December 2020, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and note to the financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory notes. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31 December 2020 and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard issued by the International Accounting Standard Board and in compliance with the relevant provisions of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 11, Act number 6, 2011 with the and the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standard on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with International Ethics Standard Board for Accountant Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statement in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the International Ethics Standard Board Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, were of most significance in our audit of the financial statement of the current year. These matters were addressed in the context of our audit of the financial statement as a whole, and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on these matters. Revenue recognition. Risk. Revenue is recognized and posted as sales when invoices are raised, irrespective of whether the goods have been delivered and the way bill endorsed by the customers. There is a risk that sales may not exist and be misstated, as transfer of control may not have passed to the third party in line with the company's accounting policies and the provision of International Financial Reporting Standard number 15. Our response. Our audit procedure in response to the risks included, among others, confirmation of revenue cycle cutoff from goods dispatched for completeness at year end. For selected sample of signed delivery notes and way bills listing in the verified store records. We obtained the details of the dispatches of inventory prior to and subsequent to year-end and confirmed that they were appropriately treated. We traced delivery notes and way bills signed by the customer or its representative as maintained by the store to invoices recorded in sales ledger before and after year-end. We verified and confirmed that revenue and receivables were recorded in the appropriate accounting period. Closing as applicable, matters related to going concern and using the going concern basis of accounting unless the directors either intend to liquidate the company or to cease operations or have no realistic alternative but to do so. Other information. The directors are responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the information included in the chairman's statement and director's report, but does not include the financial statement and our auditor's report thereon. Our opinion on the financial statement does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information, and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statement or knowledge obtained during the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If, based on the work we have performed, we conclude that there is a material misstatement of this information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue a report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it's not a guarantee that audits conducted in accordance with international standard on auditing will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatement can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if individually or in the aggregate they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of this financial statement. As part of an audit in accordance with international standard on auditing, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of the financial statement, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. Obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of companies' internal control. Evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosure made by the directors. Conclude on the appropriateness of director use of the going concern basis of accounting, and based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material certainty exists related to events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material certainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosures in the financial statement, or if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause this company to cease to continue as a going concern. Evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statement, including the disclosures, and whether the financial statement represents the underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieves fair presentation. We communicate with the directors regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings and any significant deficiencies in internal control that we identify during our audit. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the company. And 3, the company's statement of financial position and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of Accounts, signed by Ebenezer O. Olabisi for BDO Professional Services on 31 March 2021 in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, BDO. Ladies and gentlemen, it is necessary at these junctions to have the report of the Statutory Audit Committee before we proceed to comment on and receive the account. May I therefore call on the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to present their report to the shareholders.
This is a report of the Audit Committee to the members of Morison Industry and the fellow shareholders. Report to the members of the Morison Industry. In accordance with the provision of Section 404(7) of Companies and Unrelated Matters Act 2020, we have examined the auditor's report for the year ended 31st December 2020. We have obtained all the information and explanations we required. In our opinion, the auditor's report is consistent with our review of the scope and planning of the audit. We are also satisfied that the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with the legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. Having reviewed the auditor's findings and recommendations on management matters, we are satisfied with the management response thereon. We acknowledge the cooperation of the auditors, BDO Professional Services Chartered Accountants, and management and staff of the company in performing our duties. This report dated 25th day of March 2021, signed by me, Mr. Chuks Monsau-Sadnizu, and other members of the committee, Mr. Benedict Wede and Mrs. Folake Lawal and Mr. Ayeni Phillips. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, before I call for a motion on the account, I will welcome discussions and questions from members on the financial statement, as well on the director's report. Yes, sir. Please, you mention your name.
The chairman, board members, representatives of the statutory bodies here present, my colleagues, shareholders, good morning. My name is Matthew Akinlade, the president of Noble Shareholders Solidarity Association. I give glory to God that all of us have His grace to be here today. Since we had the last meeting with COVID-19 and other issues, banditry, bombing here and there, a lot of people have gone beyond. It's the grace of God that sustains us. And we pray that God's grace will continue to sustain us and keep us alive. Coming to Morison issue, I think I know people are on the spot who are in charge. They've been making a lot of effort that is not shown to us. Outsiders, it's easier to criticize because I've been at the other side too, and I know what it is to run a business organization. But I think we need to get our strategies right to get this company out of the wood. One, the annual report we are considering today is for the year ended 31st December 2020. And it's 15 months since that year ended. Honestly, it's late for AGM. The AGM that people are conducting now are AGM relating to 2021 financial year. So we need to hold our AGM on timely basis. I went through the chairman statement. I've known a chairman for many years, and I know he's not a man of many words. He's a very sound professional. But I think the chairman was very economical with words in his statement. Very brief, and the one that worries me is the outlook going forward. Because with the performance of 2020, which is nothing much to talk about, I was expecting, because I took interest in reading the chairman's statement, that I will get to a place where something will give hope for the future, or for the year 2021, that yes, we are giving for approval before it is filed with Nigerian Stock Exchange. Again, I note that you have 3 members of audit committee. I couldn't understand that, because I know in the past companies have choice to make it 6 members or 4 members, but with CAMA 2020, I don't think the company have that leeway again. You are supposed to have 3 shareholders and 2 directors. That is what CAMA 2020 prescribes. So we need the company secretary need to look at that and comply with the rules. On page 18 of the annual report, you talk of donation. Well, our company is not doing very well. I don't really expect that we should be Father Christmas and be dosing money here and there, the money we don't make. But when what we quoted here is repair of Morison Crescent Way, 500,000. I don't think that's a donation. It's not a donation. You cannot be donating to yourself. Right. So, so in the future, let's however talking, maybe motherless home or whatever, so that we touch the life of the less privileged, and that is important. And these results related to the COVID year, when people were donating COVID, various items for
26%, or 15 million from 108 million in 2019 to 132 in 2020. Sir and madam, it is worrisome that operating expenses is rising and not in tandem with the revenue. Our greater worry is that proportion of the operating expenses to the total expenses, which stood at 88% and 86% respectively, further analysis showed that the greater percentage of the operating expenses is depreciation and property, plant, and equipment. For those who are accounting buyers, we need explanation on the implication of the above, which I will also touch later on our cash flow. Inventory, pages 29 and 53. There's a huge decrease in inventory by 91%, or 36 million from 76 million in 2019 to 40 million in 2020. Further decomposition of the data reveal over 50% provision for obsolete inventory. We need further explanation to such gross negligence in asset management. The analysis of the sales revealed that our company is government dependent. The major distributors and end users are few government agencies. I stand to be corrected. When there are thousands of pharmaceutical shares and market in the country, this also revealed that our board and management has not been able to adapt the right marketing strategy. We advise the board and management should look into this and strategize on improving our company performance. Looking at our trade and other receivables on pages 29, 53, and 54, this decreased by 3.98% or 2 million from 57 million in 2019 to 55 million in 2021. When this is compared with trade and other payables, which stood at 229 million in 2019, decreased slightly to 228 million in 2020. One begins to wonder whether the cat is leading the horse. We need explanation on huge investment of payables on the past-due receivable for better understanding. We also have a look at the current assets and current liabilities on page 29, sir. We noted decrease in current assets by 37.05% or 36 million from 134 million in 2019 to 98 million in 2020. An increase in current liabilities by 17% or 48 million from 238 million in 2019 to 287 in 2020. Ratios of receivable to payable stood at a whopping 402% in 2019 and 416 in 2020. These outrageous ratios are intimidating, sir. We need further explanation and assurance of the business continuity as we consider the above position as a going concern issue. Let me quickly go out of the written one and make an observation on the external auditors. We have a negative reserve of 537.4 million with a share capital of about 500 million and a share premium of about 94 million. But now, with shareholders' fund, total equity is 41.6 million. I felt it is ridiculous that the external auditor did not see anything wrong with the state of affairs of the company. In fact, there is no key matter what reporting for a company on a, well, I don't want to use the medical language, maybe a company that is going down. Let's put it that way. You say you're a big skeptical. Your skepticism is getting too much. You need to report direct. You are helping us to kill our company. This is not welcome. Now back to my written statement. We are also concerned that the company did not take advantage of the federal government of Nigeria Intervention Fund stimulus packages through the CBN, BOI, etc., to encourage and support local production in the pharmaceutical sector, and that favored both pharmaceutical and information communication technology sectors, but rather prefer to take a short-term facility from a business venture at 22%. Why were we left out? Please require a better explanation for the chairman on this issue. On capital management, the debt to adjusted capital ratio is 132%. This is too high and not acceptable, and the shareholder fund has been eroded. The chairman will need to explain to us the way forward on this issue. And when you look at the borrowing, I've said partly at 22%. Not even from a commercial bank or microfinance bank. Why from this type of organizations, sir? Why do we have to borrow this way? During COVID-19 pandemic, when central bank was able to assist pharmaceutical sector with palliatives and interest-free credit lines, they were concerned about the lifelines of the company, and they want all of you to be afloat. Also, the facility has a tenure of 90 days. This is not acceptable. CBN, Bank of Industry, etc., give credit line, sometimes interest-free, and they give moratorium so that you can use it. You see the effect of the usage, and of course, you see the return. Then you can pay back the loan. The borrowing have adversely affected the investment of shareholders, and we hereby request for an explanation from the board and also confirm if the loan have, we want a confirmation if the loan have been repaid. Furthermore, of course, loss per share, the last speaker has said so much about that. Let me leave that one for him. We see that this is not a good result in the light of the increase in the revenue, and we would like to know the operational cost management strategies put in place or that will be put in place by the management. On page 55, sir, we look at the pension payable. The pension payable as at 31st December 2020 was 84.3 million. How did the management allow this to accumulate to this level? And how do you, the board and management, how do you intend to meet this obligation in view of the liquidity position of our company? Don't forget, the employees of our company has labored for their pay and therefore should be settled without any hindrance. We want an explanation going forward. Again, the last speaker has said something about the chairman statement, which is very scanty and non-informative. Why we are requesting for a better a report going forward, I also alluded to the fact that the managing director could give operational report going forward. As for the annual report, AGM, we also need explanation as to why a company struggling with funding and going concern is hosting only 2020 AGM, 15 months after the year end, when 2021 can be joined as well. So we require explanation. As for board committees, let me allude to what the earlier speaker has said. Thank you for keeping faith. But like my earlier opening speech, we want to see the impact of your meetings. We want a positive impact. Conclusion. Yes, I don't want to repeat all he said. What I wrote down in respect of the star, when we increase from 19 to 33, I say, where's the value addition? You increase, yes, it's almost 35–40%. Increment is good. It's welcome. You reduce the number of unemployment. But what have they done? What benefit has been given to the company? Okay? I think there's another area I said something. I don't know. I don't want to. Let me just round up. Haven't said this much. In the last 5 years, sir, our company has continued to report loss position from loss position of 78.6 million in year 2016 to 107.3 million in 2020. This has eroded the shareholder fund. This is no longer acceptable in view of the fact that our competitors are performing better and they pay dividend to shareholders regularly, which means we also want our company to do the same. We observe that there has been changes in the management over the years. The last acting MD, who was appointed December 2018, has left. We now have a new MD. It should be noted that if there is no improvement in the performance of our company in subsequent year, there may be need for change in the board composition, which the board and other stakeholders successful AGM and better profitability years ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Omangjola. I think with these two detailed analysis of the financial reports, I think we can respond as much as possible. Once again, I want to thank the two gentlemen that have critically looked at our performances in the last accounting year, which is 2020. I will allow the MD to respond to some of the issues raised, but there are a few items that I would like to respond to. You will recall that in year 2020, in an attempt to get the company reorganized, we engaged some consultants, and we allowed the consultants to manage the business. 2020 was a very tough year. It was a pandemic period, of course. It had some subtle advantage to pharmaceutical, and that resulted in a little bit of improvement from our turnover from 2019 to 2020. However, the consultants used 2020 to thoroughly clean up the company and get things reorganized. The resultant effect of that is what the results that we are presenting to you. It is still not exciting, but we believe that we've been able to clean the table to a large extent, and from that position going forward, the company results will gradually be improving. We must all appreciate the fact, the terrain in which every manufacturing companies are operating in Nigeria. It's a bad terrain. We must be frank and realistic to ourselves. I'm a consultant. I have so many clients, and I see what is operating in the field. And I know some of my clients that have gone under, and the reason for it. We are lucky and we are happy that we are still existing as a company. That does not mean that we are praising ourselves, as board or management. That doesn't mean that we have gotten there. We have not gotten there. Nobody is happy. I, as the chairman, I am not happy with what we have. But we are breaking new grounds. Somebody said, the first speaker said, my report was not exciting. Yes, I did it deliberately. All right? I do not want to be given exciting report. I want our results, what we present, to give the report. I could sit down in my office, in my study, and write, an exciting, and if the result does not justify it, then it's not worth it. So I tried to manage word and let our shareholders know that, yes, we have not gotten there yet, but we are trying. We're going to have a section briefly where the managing director is going to brief us on the way forward and some of the things we are doing to ensure that we move from where we are now to a better position shortly. We are in a relay, all right? Our relay might be a little bit slow, but I can assure you we will get to the destination very, very soon, because we believe that the worst is over. And gradually we'll be able to develop, taking the position, taking what we have learned in the past, and develop to a higher and more exciting position in which we'll be able to give results that is pleasing and pleasant to the shareholders shortly. There are few items that are mentioned here. There was the stock provision. Yes, that was a huge stock provision which the auditors insisted that we must provide for. And that which stocks provision was as a result of some, how do I call it? Some diversion, management, erroneous diversion to medicals, which honestly did not seek board approval. And that was going into drugs, importing drugs and selling. Everybody knows that drug is a volume business. The margin on drugs is very, very small. But they thought in their wisdom that they could make something out of it, and in fact, they received a query on it, and that was why we asked the MD to resign. Okay? That was what resulted into, into that. And current management is trying to see what, even though the auditor says provision must be made, it doesn't mean that the stocks are completely bad, but they are slow moving. But effort is being made to see what we can recover out of it. And I think some things are being recovered, out of that provision. And that will be reflected in our subsequent accounting presentation. Another issue that was talked about is pension. Yes, the pension position is not ideal. We are supposed to pay our pension as and when due. It is the impact of our cash flow that has reflected into that, and management is working there out because it affects them anyway to ensure that this issue is tackled. Growth, as I've said, yes, we will talk about growth and our plan, for the future. The other areas that was also talked about is on loan, that we got a loan. Of course, that loan was obtained at a critical period. Governmental loans that are available are saddled with so many orders. We hear on the pages of newspapers that government, central bank is giving this loan, federal government is giving this loan. When you plunge into it and you want to obtain it, and they give you all the orders that you have to pass through. So it is not easily accessible. We have been pursuing one for the past 2 or 3 years, and up to now, we have not gotten it. And we are still, we are still on it. At the point of saying, yes, we have met all your requirements and everything is okay for us, they come up with another joker. And that is the reality of business. Yes, that is the reality of business in Nigeria. They come up with all this thing, and you become frustrated. And if you want to key into governmental loan, you get it, your business will collapse. So you must have to look for elsewhere where you think their interest is still manageable for you to keep afloat. And that is what we are doing. I will allow the MD to chip in 1 or 2 things, on some of the questions that have been raised. But we allow the MD to wait for the period when he's going to address us on the way forward, because some of the questions you have raised in your analysis will be handled when we present on our way forward for the company. Let me just assure you, ladies and gentlemen, Morison will not die. I'm saying it emphatically because my spirit, soul, and body tells me that Morison will not die and we will survive. And everything is being done, including denying ourselves of so many things, personal sacrifices, to ensure that this company, come alive and this company bring results that is acceptable and pleasant to the shareholders. I'm a significant shareholder in Morison, and I want to receive dividend, and that is the truth. So if dividend is not coming in, I am not happy. And that is what is affecting every one of us here. And so that is why we are struggling day in, day out, to ensure that this company keep afloat and start bringing results. And I can assure you, within the shortest, time, this situation will pass. And perhaps when I come to board meetings, or AGM like this, I will see so many shareholders shaking my hand and smiling. Yes. So we will get there. We will get there. So let's wait until the MD takes us through to where we are. Then, if there are other questions to ask at that point, you can then ask it. So, having said that, may I now have a motion that they are. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Regulatory authorities present, my co-shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I just want to use this opportunity to correct an impression from the last speaker, Evangelist Mojola. Of course, the first speaker and the second speakers have said a lot, but there is something he mentioned and I want to correct the impression. That is on the issue of CEO, that if he didn't perform within 1 year or 2 years, that he should go. But I want Evangelist Omojola to know that a company like Morison Industry PSC is not a company one can just come in a year or two and correct. It's very easy to destroy, but to build is very difficult. I want us to take note of that. Then, having said that, what I want to say is that, for instance, when we received the annual report, we have some of our members that was at the secretariat at our office. They said, does Morison still exist? So, what the appeal I want to give my colleague is that let's give this company at least minimum of 5 years to turn around this company. It's not easy. Because except if we are deceiving ourselves, or maybe we are not citizens of Nigeria. I didn't want to say anything, but we should not attach sentiments to issues. Like I said earlier, it's very easy to destroy than to build. Let's give the CEO opportunity to work. Because by the time we ask him to go in 1 or 2 years, another CEO will come. Of course, he will promise. But if he didn't perform, we ask him to go also. Let's give them an opportunity to work. And what I just want to say here is that we want to tell the CEO, if you don't perform, until when you perform, that is when we are going to increase your remuneration. Whatever you are getting now, is going to, in as much shareholders are not going to get anything, you too cannot increase your remuneration until when you perform. Having said that, I just want to say again that I want Morison to look at publicity, our publicity and advertisement. It's like we are not doing much because business promotion, yes, business promotion. So I want us to look at that also. What I wanted to ask before is that what is the way forward? Because all this grammar we have been talking from money would not bring anything to the table. But what is the way forward? So, having said that, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity given to me to say this. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. All right. I will not forget the comment made by Mrs. Bakari Naori, because it touches me. And of course, yes, thank you so much. Of course, we are all contributing towards ensuring that we should brace up on our side here and make sure that we deliver. And we know the challenge, and we will work towards it in Jesus' name. Having said that, may I now propose, or may I now have a motion that the accounts for the year ended 31st December 2020, and the directors and auditors report thereon as... All right, okay, it has already been laid on the table. Okay, so we move forward to the number 2 item on the agenda is the re-election of directors. In accordance with Section 285 of Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Articles 90 and 92 of the Companies and Article of Association, the directors retiring by rotation this year are Engineer Charles Ozezua, OON, and Mr. Yenny Philip. And being eligible, they have offered themselves for re-election. I now propose that Engineer Charles Ozezua, retiring by rotation, being eligible, offers himself for re-election, be and hereby re-elected as Director of Morison PLC. Will someone please rise and second that motion? Mrs. Bakare. All right. I hereby call on the registrar to announce the voting result of the resolution.
On the resolution to re-elect Engineer Charles Osezua as director, we have 100% vote in favor of this resolution, amounting to 207,577,550 units of Morison Industries PLC shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. I declare the motion carried unanimously. I now propose that Mr. Yenny Phillips, retiring by rotation, being eligible, offers himself for re-election and be and hereby be selected as Director of Morison Industries PLC. Can I have someone please rise and second that motion? Your name, please.
My name is Oluwaseun Olubaya.
Mr. Oluwaseun. Thank you so much. I hereby call on the registrar to please announce the voting result of the resolution.
On the resolution to re-elect Mr. Yenny Phillips as director, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 207,577,550 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I now declare the motion carried unanimously, and Mr. Yenny Phillips continue to be a director of the company. The number 3 item on this is the agenda to renew the appointment of BDO professional and independent auditors, and authorizing the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Section 408, paragraph 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act laws provides that every company shall at each annual general meeting appoint an auditor or auditors to audit the financial statements of the company and to hold office from the conclusion of that until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. I now propose that the appointment of BDO professional as the independent auditors of Morison Industries PLC be and is hereby renewed, and that the directors be and hereby authorized to fix their remuneration. May I have a seconder, please? Yes, Mr. Akinlade. Thank you. I hereby call on the registrar to please announce the voting result of the resolution.
On the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the auditor's remuneration, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 207,577,550 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And I thank you, Registrar. I now declare the motion carried unanimously. BDO Professional Services continue to be the auditors of the company. Item number 4 is on the agenda, has to do with the election of shareholders. The company to the shareholders to the Statutory Audit Committee for the financial year ended 31st December 2021. Section 404, paragraph 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 mandate that each public company shall establish an audit committee, while subsection 6 of same section outlines the objectives and functions of the committee. Section 404, paragraph 3 of the Act provides that the committee shall consist of 5 members, comprising of 3 members and 2 non-executive directors. The law does not, however, specify the voting procedure to elect shareholders to the audit committee. However, in our position there, the board has approved that the following 2 directors should serve on the statutory audit committee for the financial year ended 31st December 2021. They are Mrs. Afolake Lawal and Mr. Yannick Philip. In respect of the shareholders representative, the audit committee, incidentally, we received only 3 nominees. And since 3 is the number that we are looking for, there is no issue of election of voting. And I have the 3 nominees here: Mr. Osadinizu Shooks Ngosa, Mr. Igwede Benedict, thank you, and Mr. Oluwaseun Olukoya. You're welcome. I now propose that the election of shareholders to the audit committee for the year ending 31st December be and is hereby concluded. Will a shareholder please second that resolution? Can I have one shareholder second that? Oh, yes, please. All right. What's the name, sir? Okay, Mr. Bimbala Okubale, thank you so much. I declare the resolution carried. The audit committee that we have now, I want to list the names. The number 1, Mrs. Afolake Lawal, Mr. Yanni Phillips, Mr. Osani Denizu Shooks, Mr. Igwede Benedict, and Mr. Oluwaseun Olukoya. Thank you. Item number 5 on the agenda has to do with the disclosure of the remuneration of the managers of the company, in line with Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 for the financial year 31st December 20. We have already disclosed this on page 22 of the annual report, and members who are interested in getting us that details should please open page 22 of the annual report. Having concluded the ordinary business of this AGM, I want to move to the special business. And the first item under the special business is to fix the remuneration of the directors. Well, even though nobody is paying the director's remuneration. Well, I now propose that the director's remuneration for the year ending 31st December 2020 be and is hereby at 600,000 only. Shareholders should please note that the amount shall be enforced as the annual director's remuneration until a change is proposed by the board. May I have a seconder to this motion, please? The gentleman at the back, yes. Yes. All right. I hereby call on the registrars to announce the voting result of the resolution.
On the resolution to fix remuneration of directors, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 207,577,550 units of shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. I now declare the motion carried unanimously. Thank you so much. We appreciate, even the smallness of that amount. The directors are not receiving it. But it's okay. It's okay. It's a sacrifice, The second item under the special business is the renewal of general mandate for related party transaction. I now propose that the general mandate given to the company to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operation, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial items, in compliance with the rules governing transactions with related parties or interested person, be and is hereby renewed. May we have a seconder to that, please? Yes, Madam, Mrs. Bakari. I hereby call on the registrar to announce the voting result of that.
On the resolution to authorize the company to procure goods and services necessary for its operations from related parties, we have 100% votes in favor of this resolution, amounting to 207,577,550 units of Morison Industries PLC shares. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Registrar. I now declare the motion carried unanimously. The third item under special business is to discuss and consider the going concern of the business on its net assets and steps to be taken to address same in accordance with Section 137 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. In this particular regard, I'm going to call on the MD to address us on some of the things that management and the board is proposing or is working on towards ensuring that we get out of the wood. MD, please.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, if I have your permission to stand up. Mr. Chairman, sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to address us with respect to the direction of the business at Morison Industries PLC going forward. I need to appreciate the comments that have been made by the persons who have contributed to the business of today, especially speaking to the health of the organization. I'll be the last person here to tell you that there's no problem, because we've really seen it from the presentation today and from the statistics that we've reeled out for the 2020 performance. Now it's a continuum. 2021 has come and gone, so we already know where we are in 2021 also. Now we're in 2022, and what we want to see is the relativity between the years. Now I need us to unpack, or try to unpack, what we're looking at as an organization. Morison is an organism, and it has its own identity. From what we've seen in the past years, we have faced a really, really uphill challenge as a business, situated within the larger space of the Nigerian business environment. You are right to say that some organizations are perhaps right now are doing well, which is true. Some really cashed to the bank during the COVID year. And for some, or a lot more others, they've also faced some different challenges. So depending on where we are. So for us, we situate ourselves in where are we as an organization. Now, we've identified that we're a business that has products that are quite marketable. But you want to ask yourself the question, how well have we come over the years and where are we now? What we have done, when I say we, myself, members of management, and the entire staff, are looking up to the board. And I must say here, with every sense of responsibility and truthfulness, that the board has been quite supportive, very supportive. But like they are also human beings within the Nigerian space. They face the challenges we all face on a daily basis. They make sacrifices, they make commitments to help the organization to grow. Having said that, what we as management and entire staff have done, and I will mention that because it's the most critical to anything that we do. We may have the best of products, but if we don't have the right staff, the people to get the products to the market, to design the products, to make the products on an ongoing basis, and to deliver it to the market, and to make sure that we get our money back from the market, we'll just have a good product. So what have we tried to do in the last few months? We have tried in-house, and we are working in-house on our people, because we consider our people to be the biggest or greatest asset. So that if 2, 3, 5 years down the line, we begin to now see from a lost position, that we begin to see a positive direction. Please don't attribute it to any magic. It is the people. So what we're doing at the moment is looking inwards. We are very few, very lean on the inside for the size of the business we try to drive. But at the same time, we are also not mindful, or we are rather mindful of the fact that we can't just keep adding the numbers without justifying the numbers, just like it was observed earlier. So what we have done in the last, and we are doing, is, number one, to sharpen the skills of our people in-house. So there's what we call the Morison tribe, trying to inculcate a culture, a winning culture, a collaborative culture. When you have people work in silos, then they just tend to achieve individual as much as an individual. But when you have us work as a team, then we can achieve more. We are building this and it is continuous, but we've started. So I'd like for us to see in the coming time, when we review the numbers, to largely attribute it to we have a winning team. And we will give that credit to our people. So we're working on our people to help to make the right products and make sure the products are accessible in the market and that the products make returns to the business. Now, secondly, we've taken a very keen look at our products, and it's an ongoing process. 2 days back, we had a new product development team brainstorming meeting. What do we try to do? We identify the products that we have at the moment that are product offerings to the market. And we ask ourselves questions in an iterative way, on an ongoing basis, on a daily basis. What is this product offering the market, and why is it not doing more than what it is doing now? So I'll give us an example. One of our flagship products is the Morison germicide. I'm sure many of us, and I believe all the shareholders, know our products. Morison germicide is one of our flagship products, and it's been in the space, within the Morison space, for so long. But you want to ask yourself the question: if you step out in the market and you look for a germicide product, do you find Morison germicide? So we've asked ourselves the question: have we been looking in the wrong direction with our product? So what we're doing now is this: we have a Morison germicide designed to the way it is designed at the moment, it serves and sells in institutional environments, in hospitals, especially. And then we've researched and we've told ourselves, well, there's another germicide in the market space, and it is used by individuals in homes, in schools. But mostly, our marketing strategy has been directed more towards institutions. So what we're doing is we are now spreading out. We will continue to retain the drive and the presence of our Morison germicide, taken as an example, in the institutions where it is selling at the moment, because it is considered a very good and effective product. But additionally, we are re-engineering the formulation such that we can also have an extension of that product that can be readily available to end users directly, not as a concentrated product. Now, this is spreading the base for our molecular germicide. What this will mean in effect is, as we do this, we are bringing in more people, more users into the net. And what that means is we are spreading the availability and visibility of the product in the market. So we can gain more, as we gain and make money or revenue from institutions, we can also make money from you as individuals. And also from other retailers out there. So this is part of the strategy that we're working on as a company. Take also, for example, we have a detergent product. If I may ask, how many of us know the detergent product of Morison Industries PLC? It's called Bimo. But we've had it for more than a decade as a product. So what we're doing is, okay, why are we not in the public space and our product is not popular in the mouths of the consumers, of the users? So we are re-engineering and redesigning this product, and in the next couple of weeks, and we will make sure we communicate this and we share it to all of you that are here today, so that you know that we have a new product in the space, and we want you to be the evangelists that will help us to drive. Mr. Mojola, Chief, sorry sir, you know, he has shared, Prince, sorry sir. You know, he has shared with me, like when he said, when he came in and we had a chat with the chairman, and they're having a meeting tomorrow, and I've told him I'll be there personally. You know, now these are the kind of things we want to do. When we have a new detergent, I can confidently bring to you to say, this is our new product. And it's a mass user product. Everybody uses detergent, liquid detergent. And we are re-engineering what we have at the moment to get it into the market. And I can tell you, in the next few weeks, in the month of May, God helping us, we'll be able to get this into the market. So what are we talking about? We're looking at our people in-house, because they are the only people that can get the products to sell, to make the right products. And when they are happy, then they can be happy to work for Morison. Secondly, we're looking at our products, and we're talking about the one that we can extend into other areas of the market so that we can reach more nooks and crannies of the market. And then the ones that we need to re-engineer into a new product as it were, so that we can also take part of the market share for liquid detergent. Then we're also looking at our market. Like I said, we have largely driven our business with institutions mostly. Now that we're trying to go mass market business, you had mentioned, sir, about advertisement, more visibility for our products. We are conscious of one thing, cost. The popular one is what we call the above-the-line approach or strategy to beaming your products into the public space, using television, using radio. But they are very costly, especially when you want to be on the popular platforms. You pay a lot. And we know we don't want to go there now because we can't just push the fund, so it's a no-go for us. So what do? We are currently deploying the below-the-line option. And the below-the-line option means like going to the kind of meeting we want to do tomorrow. Going to. But this will be a good addition for us, where we take the products physically to the market, to the people. Part of our strategy also is, we've looked around, we said, okay, there are many patent stores across Nigeria, but we do not have the manpower to take the products to every patent store, every nook and cranny. We will stretch ourselves and we won't achieve much. So what are we doing? We are collaborating with national associations, NASMED, the Patent Medicine Dealers Association, the Community Pharmacy Associations, and we are working with this. Right now we started with Lagos State and Osun State. And then on the back of this, we will build it gradually. So what we're doing is a gradual organic growth for our business. So we are spreading the reach of our products using modern communication tools like the internet. As many of us that are on Facebook, let me give this example. We asked ourselves the question, who are the people who buy the products that we make? Mostly, they fall within the 18 to maybe 45, 50-year category, age bracket, sorry. And where do we find them? Mostly these days, we find them on the social media. We find them on electronic platforms. Last August, we introduced our products on Gigi, on Jumia for the first time. That means your products are on the digital spaces now. Now, what we're doing with this is to expand the reach. Number one, make the products known. Because when nobody is aware of the products, then they don't ask for it. Okay? So as we are building more distributors and more institutions, we are focusing so much on the retail buyers. This had not been part of our strategy in the past, but we are bringing this into the flow. So what this means is we are as many people as we're able to reach. Take, for example, an institution that has been consistent in patronizing Morison is Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital. And they've been a customer to Morison Industries PLC for many years. But we asked ourselves the question, which we keep doing, because on a daily basis we need to keep asking questions. What, where, and why we need to go there. And we realized, okay, if people go to the hospital and they give them Morissette, which is one of our hygiene, personal hygiene products, they actually buy Morissette and Xylol. Now, I don't want to imagine that many of us are hearing of the names of our products for the first time. So I'm trying to evangelize from here. And that's what we're driving with our team, to take the products to every nook and cranny. Now, what we realize is when people go to the hospital and then they buy the products, then they go home. When they finish using what they gave them at the hospital, where do they go to? So that is driving our strategy now, to say, let's have presence, let's have distributors, let's have mini distributors, as the case may be, in those spaces. So we are following the market, we are following the product to the market, and we are following the people to make sure that they are able to connect with the product. And when you buy it once and it works for you, that means you want to look for it again, and then you want to look for where to get it. And this is what we're doing to get the products to the market. So we're using digital marketing, a lot of it. A lot of digital marketing. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. For as many people who tweet, we send our products through those platforms. And so that if you are on any of these platforms, you can access it. Now, for those who are not on those platforms, then we still use the traditional approach. And that's why we try to bring the product directly to you or to your neighborhood. So these are ways and means that we're using at the moment to try to drive our products, the people, and the market. Now, coming to the factory, for some time we've been constrained. I'm happy to announce to you that last year we got PCN site approval. You know, for some time we were not site approved, so we were constrained. So last year we were able to cross the hurdle to get approved by Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, which is the council that regulates the industry that we belong to or where we play. In addition to that, last year we got certification from NAFDAC for CGMP. This also had been something we didn't have before now. So now what we're doing is to build the backbone for us to be able to certify exactly that we have the right products to make, we have the right environment to make the product, and then we can get the product to the market. Additionally, SARS and MAS, we also see an opportunity that as we try to build the volume sales for our products, and as we disaggregate and we make the products that we produce to be available to the customers in the different segments where they belong, we also realize that there's always the cost element. Either we produce or we do not produce. It was mentioned earlier, depreciation, when you calculate your cost of sales, you know, all the fixed costs will come into play and they will continue to show up in the negative. So whilst we are driving to build the volume for our locally manufactured products, we are at the same time driving to increase our contract manufacturing, what you could call toll manufacturing opportunities. Now, what this does for us is, with toll manufacturing, we just add value to the owner's product, and they pay us for that service. Now we use that to close the gap for overheads. I mean, so that we can also use unutilized overheads, and we can cover the cost as much as possible. This is an area we're driving so that at the end of the day, we can have a business that is actually profitable. So on the whole, I'll say to us, without taking more of the time, that we are very clear-minded as to what we are doing as an organization now. And we don't want to run roughshod over it. When we unpack the issues, we know that with the products, we need to re-engineer and do more. With the people, we need to get our people right. And then the market, that we need to deepen and increase our presence in the market. And this is by way of taking the product to the end user. Last 2 months, in the month of January, we signed off with now, this has been a challenge for some time. We were trying to get into multi-chain store environments like ShopRite and such big stores, because we want to see our products too on the shelves. And if you recall, I said we are also rechanneling our strategy, not just to institutions, but to the end user. And the question they will say is, okay, where are you at the moment? And it's difficult. Oh, you are not in any place. We try to say, just use us as guinea pigs. We have very good products. Oh no, we have our procedures. But just last month, there's a group, the supermarket chain store, about 18 in the chain store, and we've been working on them, and they just gave us approval to start stocking our products on their shelves. Now, these are the little baby steps we are taking now, but very clear-minded and focused, because we know where we are going, so that we do not continue to do the same things we've been doing the same way and to expect a different result. So I want to crave your indulgence, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to believe in what we're doing, and we will call on you to support us, like Prince Omojola said, and we're going to be with Independent Shareholders Association tomorrow at their meeting. We're going to display our products, and we want to bring it closer to the end users. So this is a change in direction. So in essence, we're not doing any magic. We're just applying common sense to, number one, identify the products that we have and the people that need it, and to identify where they are and take it to them there. We normally use what we call the bell curve to do this on a regular basis. That's the normal distribution. Sorry, I won't bore you with that. But what it simply says is, to this side of the curve, you have the underage, people who do not have money to, they use products, but they don't make the buying decision. On the other side of the curve, you have the people who, they use products, maybe they are aged in 60s, 70s, and, but they don't maybe spend the money. And then the people in the middle of the curve, they constitute about 67% of the consuming public. We further segment them to identify the people that we need to talk to so that they can have access to our products. So what we're doing now, so far this year, for example, our focus has been to expand the base in the market. For some time, we were not doing business in the north. I can tell you confidently that we have representatives in the north as we speak, and we can show numbers. The numbers may not be looking huge at the moment, but we can show that we have footprints that we never had in the past. And what this means is we can grow this space and improve the revenue of the business. On the inside, we try as much as possible to keep our costs as low as we can. So we have a buying committee to always look at procurements and to always look at alternatives so that we ensure that we are preserving the resources of the shareholders, so that we are buying right at all times. All this we do on an ongoing basis, and we keep doing more, and we keep looking more at the numbers, so that as much as we can reduce the middle line and increase the top line, which is the revenue, then we can expand and improve the bottom line going forward. It's a long journey, I can tell you. It's a long journey. I came into the space because I'm confident we can all work together to turn things around. And like I said, for the board, and the chairman and members of the board, they have been very supportive, very, very supportive. So I just want to leave us with, this sense of, like the chairman said, confidence that though it's been tough and it's been not so good. But going forward, we are focused and we know what we're doing, and we'll keep doing more of that so that we can keep showing the numbers to be indicative of an improvement from where we're coming from. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice. I'm sure that we are more informed now. As a matter of fact, management is also working on 1 or 2 new products, but that cannot be disclosed at this moment for security reasons, for marketing reasons, you know. Well, anyway, that is, yes, that is the activities of, yes, please.
That's why we are here. Thank you very much. I want to acknowledge the detailed exposures of the MD, the way he has explained things. I want to say you are going in the right direction. If you don't have the approvals before and you want to produce, you can be stopped midway. But with the approvals now and getting your strategies right, I know the company will grow right. For instance, this is the second health services company we are attending the AGM this year. Like the other one, the inside of this annual report was used for marketing. Then the whole like this is all marketing. The products are shown. They are so you can, as part of the additional value addition, you can add that one. So if anybody that lays his hand on this annual report sees your product, in fact, in that one, they listed all their products, the new one and the rest of the inside, listed the distributors and the rest of the inside the annual report. Okay? So when they come here, you have so many flyers that were even given to shareholders and so on. So we can build on that. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And I'm sure, God willing, next time when we meet, thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, there being no other business on the agenda, I want to declare the 66th annual general meeting of your company closed. May I now call on the MD to give the vote of thanks. Vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say a very big thank you to all of you for making the time to come to this AGM, 66th AGM of Morison Industries PLC today. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for your contributions and for your presence. And we will continue to look forward to work with you, even outside this space, to see how we can drive the business forward. Once again, thank you very much and God bless.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elman. We call on one of the shareholders to give us closing prayer. After that, we take the national item. Any volunteer, please, to give us closing prayer? All right.
In Jesus' name. Amen. Father, we thank you for an opportunity. We have been here under your chairmanship. You have guided us, the board and management and shareholders, right? Thank you for the affairs of our company that have been discussed today. And as to the way forward, we have been enlightened as to what the board and management will do to change the situation on the ground for positive. This we pray for, and we ask that you guys continue to guide the board and management and protect all of us. By this time next year, when we come back, we shall have cause to glorify your holy name in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Thank you for that.
I will take the national item, please. so much. God bless.